Given we have a theory of the evolution of life that is considered to be established science, what else can we do with it? What else can we explain in evolutionary terms? Well, I'm a reductionist, so I think the answer is quite a lot. There are three fundamental components that come to mind: time, change, and choice. And I'm inclined to see choice as being synonymous with natural selection. It seems to me that time is the driving force, though. As somebody once said, time waits for no man. Or in the modern world, time waits for no one. In science, we have to find demonstrable evidence for our theories and get a consensus within the scientific community about whether or not they are right. However, where it all starts is with a hypothesis, an idea that can be tested against reality. Let me give you one example. I propose that questions with answers are better than questions without answers. It seems to me fairly self-evident that this hypothesis is indeed correct most of the time. Knowledge is something that is desirable, it's useful and it's beneficial. But perhaps it's also too desirable, and we are sometimes driven by our fear of the unknown. To quote Captain Kirk, "The greatest danger facing us is ourselves, an irrational fear of the unknown." As I've mentioned previously, I think it can be better to accept some things as unknown rather than believing them to be true. There's an old idea that our sense of morality comes from God. It is an explanation that would have made sense thousands of years ago. There must have been many aspects of life that seemed strange and cried out for an explanation. And at the time, God or gods were the only answer. In light of evolution, it seems more likely that our sense of morality is an individual trait, and like any other trait, it has been selected for as part of the evolutionary process. So we can propose an alternative hypothesis. Morality is nature's way of trying to make us better people. Of course, without supporting evidence, this is just a hypothesis, but it seems plausible to me, and hopefully the scientific research will eventually provide the answer. It's not really my idea, though. Richard Dawkins, for example, has covered it in The God Delusion. Evolution could be described as improvement through the natural selection of genes. That idea is established science. I would have thought that the moral zeitgeist that Richard talks about in The God Delusion could be described as improvement through natural selection of memes, but he didn't say that. I guess it's just because that idea isn't really established science right now. One thing that doesn't seem to evolve, though, is the laws of physics themselves. There are scientific properties that we call fundamental constants of nature. As their name suggests, these constants don't change with time. It's a standard view that this is the case, and that the laws of physics are often said to be time invariant. The problem is that we don't have a theory of everything, and the scientific community still struggles with theories about the beginning of time. Some physicists, most notably Lee Smolin, have argued that the laws of physics must evolve, or change too. Some have gone further and concluded that there is natural selection at work with the laws of physics as well. I don't know the answers, and much of emerging science seems speculative and far-fetched, but it is fascinating, and what I do know is that we will continue to try and evolve answers to our deepest questions.